put it on the meat, huh? There you go. Okay, so yesterday we did some of the slides about argumentative essays and writing argumentative stuff. Just before we get started, let's review a little bit. What is a claim? What are you going to do if you're claiming something? What's a claim?
It's where you give one piece of evidence and what you think is better than the other thing.
Yeah, it's where you state your idea, right? Like, I think climate change is bad for the environment. That's a claim. You're claiming that something is your opinion, right? You're claiming it. What about your reasons? What are your reasons going to be?
Your evidence?
Close. You're going to use evidence.
Why you chose that.
So the reasons are why you chose it, and then the evidence is facts to support it, like true things to support it. What's the counterclaim?
The opposite.
When you're not claiming it.
Good, it's the opposite of your claim. So if I say climate change is hurting the environment, the opposite of that, my counterclaim would be climate change is not hurting the environment. Okay? So there's a little bit of information there. Let's go ahead and open up our slides. We're going to use this assignment all week. So we're going to go ahead and get it opened again and go from there. Next
Are we
week.
going to finish it today?
No, we're going to use these all week. So let's go ahead and get that opened up. Okay, let's check to see if you guys are getting there. Looks like a lot of you guys are.
I'm doing mine on paper.
Okay.
Miss Jones,
Yeah.
for science, is it going to be the same today? Like we're going to go on 12:30?
Yeah, we'll be on at 12:30 like normal.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, guys. So looks like most of you guys are there. We are gonna do we went up until slide 6 yesterday, right? So we talked about some vocabulary. We did a little bit of matching with our vocabulary. We talked about what a claim is and what a good one is versus a bad claim. And then you guys did a little bit of a multiple choice about what's a good claim and what's not. And then today we're going to talk about your reasons and your evidence. I think we're only doing 3 slides. Slides 7, 8, and 9, which should be a pretty quick lesson because we're not going to do all of it at once. Okay? So let's talk about our reasons and evidence. Like we just said, reasons are why you think that your side of the argument is correct. And your evidence is the facts that you use to support it. So it says, an argument typically contains several reasons. The claim of an argument is powerless without reasons and evidence to back it up. So if I just walk up to someone and I say climate change is real, it's affecting the environment, but I don't give reasons or evidence to back it up, I'm just saying things. Yeah, like I could walk up to someone and be like, aliens are real. But if I don't have evidence to back that up, are they going to believe me? Not really, no. So you have to make sure that you are supporting it with reasons and evidence that are true and not just some made up explanation that you come up with in your mind, right? Okay, I don't know what that means. Yoshi, put your mask on, please. Okay, well, if you're eating, then face forward and stop talking to people that are behind you. All right, a reason explains why your claim is valid. It is the writer's justification for his or her opinion. A reason must be supported with evidence or proof. So your evidence needs to like actually support your opinion. You can't just be like aliens are real and then say something about how on this made up TV show aliens were real. That's not proof, right? Like you have to come up with things that actually make sense. Yeah, like it's got to make sense to support the reasons, right? So some examples of evidence would be facts that you find on the internet, in a book, in the newspaper, things like that. Statistics, which would be like 1 in 5 people saw a UFO or something like that. I don't know. An anecdote is a short story, like a kind of like a personal story about experiencing something. Examples are examples of an alien, I guess, and maybe a story that someone has done. You could use a description of an event, quotations from experts or authorities. So if we'll just keep going with the alien thing, right? If someone claims aliens are real, then maybe they went to an expert that, because there are experts in aliens, like people are like researching that stuff very actively. So
I kind of think that's a big waste of time.
I don't know. That's just what they choose to do, research if aliens are real or not. So you could go to those experts and get quotes from them, or you can get quotes from text. So you could find a book or an article that supports your opinion about aliens, and you could take that those quotations from there. Okay. So an example. Goat man? I don't know what that is. Oh my. Okay. Oh my. Okay. So anyway, let's focus back up. Okay. The reason, oh, okay, sorry, I got sidetracked. A reason could be that wearing seatbelts saves lives. Sure, seatbelts are important. I don't know if that's the claim. So, like, they claim seatbelts are good for you. And then they say the reason is because seatbelts save your life. And then their evidence would be statistics and facts like seatbelts reduce serious crash-related injuries and deaths by about half. And then maybe in 2014, seatbelts saved an estimated 12,800 lives. So wearing your seatbelt is very important. Just in case you don't wear yours, wear it because it's really important. Okay. You should really wear your seatbelt. It does depend on the car crash, but for the most part, if you're in a car crash, wearing your seatbelt is going to help reduce your injury.
Whether it's a bad car crash or not.
Yeah, you should still wear your seatbelt no matter what. Yep. So wear your seatbelts, kids. Yeah, but seatbelts usually have emergency releases for that sort of situation. Usually. If not, you're screwed. Okay, so that's slide number 7. Slide number 8 is a little bit of, oh, I didn't mean to click on that. Whatever, that's okay. We'll scroll up a little bit. Some examples of reasons and evidence. So each of the reasons you use to support your claim needs to be backed up by some sort of evidence. So whatever you decide is your reason for your opinion, you got to be able to support it with evidence. And it can come in many forms. Some of your reasons may have multiple, what? Oh, hi. Some of your reasons may have multiple types of evidence, and you want to include all important evidence for each reason. Oh my gosh, I can't read it all lately. If you can do it without making your essay too long. So, down below it says select each reason and evidence box below to reveal some examples of reasons and evidence that support the claim. So, our example here, the claim, what they are saying is their opinion and their argument is that our town should have a local history museum to honor its heritage and citizens. Now, if we consider that a museum, in Winslow, there is a pretty rich history here, right? And heritage. Like this was a really, yeah. Winslow is on Route 66, so you have that pretty big major routes through and across the United States. This was a pretty big mining town, right? The railroad is here. Yeah, it's near the Native American reservations. So did you just say, wow, there's a railroad here? Oh, there's a lot of important things about this town. So, and then there's a lot of Native American reservations around as well. So, Charlie, you raising your hand?
What about standing on the corner?
Yeah, standing on the corner is another major part of the town, right? I don't actually know. I think that's only from the song, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. The Eagles. I hate that song. I'm not gonna lie.
There was this song called The Killers, and they were in Winslow.
Oh, that's cool. The Killers is a good band. I like them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's been a while since I've heard the song.
I tend to skip it if it ever comes on. I think it's because I've heard it so many times as being a teacher in Winslow. So now I'm just like, oh my God, skip.
What song?
The Stand in the Corner one. It's called Take It Easy by the Eagles. Yeah, no, I skip it. I don't like it. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and go over some of the reasons that the town should have a local history museum. So this does not actually have to do with Winslow. This is just an example. I was just talking about how this could be applied to Winslow, right? So reasons that the town should have a local museum is on the left. So it says, citizens have many happy memories of the town. How can we support that with evidence? What do you guys think? What's a way we could support that there's happy memories here? Yeah, so maybe someone tells you a story about it. Okay. The car show. Yeah, so they could tell you a story about a car show, maybe. So evidence would be something. Oh, whoa. Okay, stop it. Would be something along the lines of a story from someone that says, I kept my grandfather's old diaries because they are filled with interesting details about our town. I would be happy to donate them to the local museum, says Heather Morrison. So that's a quote from someone in the community that's like, yeah, we have a lot of happy memories here. Charlie, you have a question?
People like taking pictures by standing on the corner.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And like on the road that has the Route 66 sign.
Yeah, that's true. So people will come here and take pictures and have happy memories at the Standing on the Corner Festival, or maybe they go to specific parts of town that have history. Yes, Miss Lowry. They were raised here, so they have tons of happy memories here because, you know, they've lived here.
I've seen people lay on the Route 66.
They've laid down on it?
Yeah, in the middle of the road. I have to take a picture of it.
You know, I don't know. Some people are weird. They're just gonna get hit by a car. I don't know.
And then the cars all have to stop while they're taking the picture.
Yeah. Yep. So those are a lot of reasons why people would have happy memories in Winslow, right? Keep in mind that this example that's on the screen is probably not about Winslow, but we can apply it to Winslow as we're talking, right? So another reason that they would come up with as to why this little town should have a history museum, oh my gosh, is that the town has a lot of interesting history to study and remember. So in terms of Winslow, we just talked about it. What sort of history do we have in Winslow here? Huh? I don't know what that is. What is it?
It's this place. It's kind of about a mile away from my house. It's where like long ago pioneers stayed there, and like before Winslow was there, that used to be
Okay. Okay, that would be good history, yeah. So Donna's talking about, what is it called, Brigham City?
Yeah.
So that used to be a place before, like right outside of town before Winslow was really established? Okay, so that would be a good thing to add to the history museum because that's history. Miss Lowry?
Miss Jones?
Yes, Charlie?
I think I heard something about like Winslow was like a stop place, like, and there were like bad people or something, and we were keeping all of the people, even the citizens, just in case they were bad and they would try to take us over. Something. I think I heard something about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of history here. So there was a World War II stop too. At La Posada? Okay.
Winslow can be the capital for Phoenix because it's really good. It was the capital? It was going to be.
So at one point, Winslow was potentially going to be the capital of Arizona. So there's a lot of history in Winslow. Let's look at the evidence for this little small town on the stream. This one says that they could do collections of old objects, deeds, newspapers, and photographs that could be assembled for display. So all of those things that we just talked about, we could get pictures of, newspaper clippings, and things like that to put on display in the museum if we were to create a history museum in Winslow. Is there a history museum in Winslow?
Yeah.
There is?
There's a museum here. It's a small one, though. Like it has stuff in it.
It's
There's one
probably,
in Holbrook.
yeah, it's probably a history museum in Winslow. Yeah. Okay, and then our last reason that these people came up with is that it should not be hard to find and obtain a good building for the museum. So being able to find a building that they could make this museum in. We already have one in Winslow, so they have a good building for a museum. And their evidence for finding that is that the owner of a house on Main Street is willing to sell the house for small amounts of money. Old Trails Museum. Okay. And then the house is filled with historical furniture that will be perfect for a local museum. So there's 3 reasons there with lots of evidence to support those ideas. Okay. Let's go ahead and go to the last slide that we're going to do today. Slide number 9.
After this, I'll show you what they're going to do on the map.
Okay. This one is one that you guys are going to work on your own for a few minutes, and then we will review it. So it says, read each claim and the sentences that follow it. Decide whether the sentence is an example of a reason or evidence. Check the answer, or select the check answers button to see how well you did. So you will read number 1. It says that the claim is physical education, or PE, should be part of every student's day. And then you will decide if part A is a reason that we should have PE or evidence that we should have PE. So you're going to do that for each one, and you just do the drop down and choose what your answer is, and then you can check your answer after. So I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes, 7 minutes-ish to work on this part, and then we'll review it, and that's all we're doing for ELA today. Okay? So be working on that, please. This is slide number 9. Good. Okay, go ahead and be working on this. Three or 4 from here on out, yeah. We have 2 more lessons we're going to do. They're just kind of split up by different parts of an essay, so we're not overwhelming you guys with a ton of information at once.
Okay, so it's not like they like to say, that was okay, but there's like that.
There's 4 questions. That makes sense. Did you guys do your question?
I didn't get it because it was the same answer, or you would have one down. I don't know where it's going to go. On timeline. on the field next to Brigham City, that's in my group.
Miss Jones, I'm done.
Okay, cool. We're gonna review it in just a minute, so go ahead and sit tight.
We have an old truck. Yeah, there used to be like a building.
I lived to that next half of factory.
You live next to it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever been inside it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I got 8 out of 8 correct.
Any cats in there?
No,
It's empty.
it's really empty. Nothing but spray painted and weird stuff. Mm-hmm.
No, it's not my problem because there's a lot of people that go on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got it right there?
Okay, we'll do about 2 more minutes on this one, and then review.
Easier.
All right, about 1 more minute. Okay, let's go ahead and review this. Those of you that got sucked into Google Maps, go back to this to go over it, please. Thank you. So number 1, our claim, PE should be part of every student's day. And then part A says 80% of the students surveyed said that they can concentrate better after exercising. Is that a reason or evidence?
Evidence.
Why is it evidence? Because of the 80%. This gives you a statistic, which is evidence. Good, so that one is evidence. Part B says that exercise can promote health and is also fun.
A reason.
That one's a reason because it just gives, it just gives you a reason as to why you should have PE. And then part A gives you the evidence that supports part B. Good. Number 2 says the voting age should be lowered to 16.
Reason.
Well, that's the claim. We have to read the other 2 first. Part A says, I believe that young people want to be involved in the electoral process.
Reason.
Yeah, that one is a reason. So that's why you think this. And then part B says that teens are impacted by the same laws that affect adults, even though they are not allowed to decide whether these laws should be passed.
And
Reason or evidence? Good. That one is, oh my gosh, why is this so finicky today? This
I
is
got
evidence.
8 out of 8.
Good. So this one is evidence to support why you think that these teens should be allowed to vote. Number 3 says you should eat a piece of fruit every day. And then part A says fruit is filled with valuable vitamins and nutrients without adding empty calories. Reason or evidence?
Evidence.
Evidence. Good. That gives you facts about the fruit that you're eating. Part B says that fruit is easy to eat and delicious, and it's not expensive.
Reason.
Reason.
Good. Those are reasons why you should eat fruit. I agree with those reasons. Eat more fruit. And number 4. I eat a lot of fruit and vegetables. So, number 4, it is essential that we join together to combat homelessness. Letter A says homelessness has a terrible effect on those who endure it, as well as on the community at large.
Reason.
That is a reason why we should help combat it. Part B says more than 14,700 families will sleep in a homeless shelter on any given night.
Evidence.
That's evidence because it gives you a statistic about the number of people that are going to sleep in a homeless shelter. Check answers. We got 8 out of 8 correct. Killing it. We're awesome. Okay. So, that's actually all we're going to do today. Tomorrow, I think we do slides 10 through 12. So we'll do another 3 slides tomorrow. But for today, that's all we're going to do because we don't want to do too much at once and just give you guys all the information. We want to let it kind of settle before we okay, now here's more. So, there are some of you guys that need to go back and check grades for last week and make sure you complete the text questions from last week. Keep in mind that anything from last week that you might have a 0 on, you have until this Sunday to complete. If it is not done by this Sunday, it will stay a 0. Some of you guys did not turn in stuff from 2 weeks ago, and it's staying a 0. There's no chance to go back and complete it anymore because that's just how the policy is now. So if you're one of those people that needs to go back and complete some stuff from last week, I highly suggest you do that so that it doesn't stay a 0 in your grades. And then anything from yesterday or today that maybe you didn't complete, I would go back and finish up as well. I'm going to be pretty strict about your grades this quarter. I gave you guys a lot of leeway last semester for first and second quarter and let you guys complete anything from the quarter, but not anymore. Getting used to junior high policies now, so make sure that you go back and complete anything or else it will stay a 0. I'm going to say that like all the time now, but it's a pretty big deal. You don't get free passes when you get to junior high and high school. If it's not turned in on time, it's usually a 0. Once you get into high school, if you don't pass a class, you don't graduate. So you got to be able to pass the stuff starting now so that you get used to doing your work on time. Make sense? Okay. So I'm going to stop our recording. Those of you online, you can stay if you would like.